Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Marina Nani from Radio Works, and I have the privilege to introduce you a voice of an angel. And the angel is here with me. Actually, her name is Kanani, and the translation from Hawaii is the rainbow. Good morning, Kanani. How are you?
Good morning. It's a very good morning. We usually say aloha kakahiaka in the morning, and
Aloha.
wherever you're at, it might be afternoon. So it's if it's afternoon your time, it's aloha awinala. But I'm
So,
doing great.
as Kanania, I'm so happy to talk to you again. And last time when we talked, you just become an award-winning author of your latest book. And this is back in August. And we were in Hollywood. And now, this week, you just published another book. Tell me what's happening, because I know it's so much going on. And we just listened to your singing voice, but you also have a writing voice, and is the deepest possible reflection of who you are. So tell us, what is this new book? What is the title, and what you want to achieve? Whose heart do you want to touch with your writing voice this time?
Well, the name of the book is The Simple New Year Journal. The subtitle is 28-Day Reflections. And this book actually is a journal. I am creating a set, two different series of journals to write in. And it actually came out of inspiration because of change. And I've been writing to get to know myself. Narrative writing is very different than journaling for scrapbook purposes. And lately, the technology and the social media capturing journals more in a scrapbook way as opposed to the traditional journaling style. And so actually it started from doing a different journal called Goal Achievement. And it's a different journal for a different series, but I thought, you know, in my process, I didn't just change just because it was a new year. A new year can come at any time, at any day, and it can change based on self-reflection. And so with this journal, I actually created it all in one day on New Year's Eve. And instead of popping fireworks and everything, I spent the entire day on this particular book and journal to bring it out as a New Year resolution for those who want change, but understanding that change comes because of self-reflection. So my target is to help see people through change and the fact that change doesn't come unless you do a self-reflection. To create goals is one thing, but to really know yourself, to be able to complete the change and actually follow through on goals is very different, and it involves self-reflection. So this particular book is set up to lead into the next book dealing with goal achievement and tracking goal achievement. So I'm very excited about it. It's definitely something that came at any point in time. At one moment, I just decided I'm going to do a self-reflection journal. And for those who really want change and are serious about changing their lives, changing their circumstance, it's not just about goal achievement. It's about actually knowing who you are inside and how your mind operates. You can't change something unless you know about it. So in a conversation like what we are having right now, it's very easy to say, well, my mind and my focus is on losing weight. Maybe it's on getting better and being more positive. Well, you can say that, but unless you understand your mind and know that your mind is focused on it, if you don't know that you're not focused on it, you won't be able to change it. So this particular journal is set up for those people who are serious about self-reflection and actually being able to get to know them and confront themselves within 1 month, 28 days, taking 28 days out of your month, whatever month you choose. It can start tomorrow and go all the way into the middle of February, and journaling every week, and just writing anything that comes to your mind. Anything that's on your mind, the way that your mind goes, and just flow with it. And if you don't feel like writing, just saying, I don't feel like writing today. Because being honest about journal writing, really, it's about being honest. And you have to be able to sit and say in one journal entry, I don't care about writing, so I'm going to stop writing. There's a lot to learn just from that journal entry alone. And people think that they have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. It's about getting to know you. And if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. So taking 1 week at a time, 4 weeks, 28 days, and after each week, the journal is set up for you to do a self-reflection every week. After that, at the end of 28 days, because you don't know which month you're going to start on, you have a few days left of the month to actually do an end of the month reflection to create actionable steps and lessons that you've learned. That's all included in this 102-page journal. And it's very simple. It's a way to start any new year at any given time. So what exactly would you like to really get from, getting to know yourself? I don't know. That's entirely up to the person that chooses to write for themselves. Over to you, Marina.
Thank you so much, Kanani. I'm looking back to the day when we first met, and at the time I could see the fire in your heart. I could see how much you want to achieve, and the fact that you felt you are ready. Not many people feel ready for taking on a challenge like getting to know yourself. So what would be your advice for those people who are thinking, knowing myself, what is that going to give me? Where do I start? You know, the doubts that cloud your mind when you are facing your own inner greatness and you are thinking who I am to think of myself or to look inside myself. Is nothing there. It's just finding those excuses to keep you at distance from your life purpose, from who you truly are, from your true worth. What sort of steps? What is the strategy for those people who are thinking very little of themselves because they never got to know themselves and they don't have the courage of facing their inner greatness?
You know, that's a very good point, because when I've talked to a few people and talking to diverse people in life throughout the past few months, I found that it is very difficult to actually take that step in getting to know yourself. And the only tip that I can really share in taking that step forward is, in a sense, they call it psyching yourself out. When you want to get pumped up for something and you want to get motivated and inspired, when you start to really feel that inspiration and that momentum, that's when you actually take that step forward. Because if you stop and you get inspired to want to change, And you're not even thinking about confronting yourself. You're kind of, in a sense, setting your mindset up to, wow, I'm going to be greater this year. I'm going to be amazing this year. I'm going to accomplish these goals. That's the momentum you want to move forward in, as opposed to coming from the standpoint of, I have to look inside myself. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if I want to look at myself. You know, that idea kind of sets up the wrong mindset and then makes you scared and not take that step forward. So coming from a different standpoint where you're thinking all about goal achievement, all about having a new life, thinking into the future, and then thinking of this as just one step towards the goal achievement. Because even if you achieve a particular goal, some people will think, well, I achieved that much, but you don't actually know the mistakes that you probably made that will eventually creep up in the goal achievement process. So coming from that type of mindset would be the best way to approach anything dealing with confrontation, anything dealing with getting to know who you are. In that point, I think it would be a little bit more lighter, and you'll have the courage to actually take the step forward, if that makes sense.
Total sense for me, Kanani. And you, as the founder of the Growth Mind Academy, yourself going through a lot in your life to discover your true worth and facing that reality and making your dream the only reality you know now. What do you think is more important in life than just chasing earthy goals? Is it looking inside the beginning of achieving anything outside in the outside world? Is that where would you start?
Well, for me personally, it always comes from a mission or a vision, where what type of person you envision yourself to be. And I also teach, I'm an elementary school teacher, and in my profession, anything that you can teach children, something simplified, actually helps you to know that you actually know what you're talking about. Because if it's too complex and you're thinking outside the box, then you kind of set up your mind to think it's so complicated that you can't achieve something. So it has to be something tangible and something that's simple. So when you start with this type of mindset and starting to accomplish something, it's not about just goal achievement and making yourself higher. But then again, there are people who just, for example, we all talk about SMART goal achievement, SMART goals, and having R standing for something that's relevant and real. There's a lot of people that have goals that aren't really relevant. Like, for example, there are shows out there that have the highest world record. You know, how many hot dogs can you eat? You know, setting a goal, well, what's the relevancy of that? You know, so it's not about just looking at goal achievement per se, but looking at what you want to make a mark on in life, what you want to stand for. Maybe somebody who wants to eat a bunch of hot dogs and compete with a stomach load of food, I don't know, maybe they just want to hit the world record and feel like they made their mark, you know? And so it's relevant for them. But it may not be relevant in my life, and it's not who I want to stand for and be known for. So starting from who you want to be known as, your character, and if it's something that's intangible, like, for example, I want to be more positive. There are people that have gratitude journals that say, I want to be more grateful. Those are character traits. However, it's very much intangible. So you have to transfer it into something that's tangible instead of looking on the outside. Well, it's all about goal achievement. I'm going to set this goal. I'm going to set this goal. ultimately you're leading yourself on a journey of becoming something more, but in reality it's the character traits that you're building, you just don't really know it. So instead of going for goal achievement, starting from the inside and thinking, who do I want to be known as and how do I want people to see me? When you think from that viewpoint and starting from that viewpoint, all the rest of the goals will come automatically because they're character traits. When you have character traits like loyalty and honesty and integrity, or being more positive and grateful, all of those things come into play when you actually do set your goals, when you actually go for different goals. You actually become that person. You are that person as a result of you striving to be that person. So I would say that that's exactly where you would start.
So I remember in our one of our interviews before, we were talking about the role of inspiration in other people's life, how you become to inspire, how you handle your ability to inspire other people to be more, to create better life choices. And I remember that we talked about what Maya Angelou said, that try to be a rainbow in somebody's cloud. So in effect, Kanani, you are somebody else's rainbow, and you are helping people to come out of the cloud, to go inside and get clarity and get focus on what they have and what is possible with what they already have, with their existing abilities, and take them to a step further and further. And taking that journey is an adventure of the mind. And
Mm-hmm.
when do you think is the best time for somebody to start preparing for tomorrow?
Always right now. There's never a better time than right now when you feel that momentum. Like, for example, if somebody is listening to the broadcast and they're like just listening just to get information, they don't have any fire in them, they don't have any momentum, they can't move in that direction yet because they aren't feeling anything for themselves. Whereas versus somebody that might be listening, they're already listening with the intent of moving forward. So if you're listening to with the intent of moving forward and actually pursuing something and you feel that kind of fire and burn, like you really want something to change, that's exactly the time period that you move. At any other point, it'll just be kind of more sluggish attitude and more forcing yourself. And when you force yourself, there aren't really good results, and then you blame the process. So instead of going from a time period, if you're not feeling it, then getting yourself prepared to feel it, starting now. If you're not ready right now, then starting to the point where, okay, well, I'm not feeling it right now, so what do I have to do to actually get that momentum going? Well, listening to different broadcasts like this one is exactly where you start from. Getting that inspiration, getting the motivation, getting the momentum up to speed to where you can, oh, I'm ready. I'm going for it. Whereas somebody else listening, they might already be going for it and they're already ready right now, so they're already pushing. So right now, regardless of where you're at, would be the best time either to prepare for the momentum to come while you're getting to know yourself, getting to that attitude of, well, I want this, versus, okay, I am ready, so I am going, and preparing now and just going with it.
This is, Kanani, this is such a great opportunity for each one of us to go inside and see what we are made of, what each one of us is made of, because we are made of the same essence. It's just what makes us different is our decision, the choice each one of us make to make that essence work and use it or not. So it's not that we are different, we all have the same essence, the same power, the same divine ability to make a huge difference in this lifetime. And some people are blaming themselves, or they're blaming other people, they're blaming their circumstances, and they're thinking, well, where I am right now, I don't have any opportunities. You have lots of opportunities because you are an author, you are the founder of your Growth Mind Academy. You've been awarded, you already went a long way from where you were to where you are. But at the end of the day, if an opportunity doesn't knock on your door because you don't have a door, you have to build a door. So your invitation is to build that door. So even if you feel all alienated in your space, in your life, and you feel that you are not exposing yourself to opportunities because you don't have a door, this is the door. This journal is the door they could build, open, and come out. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, it will just simply change your life. It's a simple, I entitled it The Simple New Year because it starts simply with reflection. And too many people complicate that. And then when people look at blank journals, you can get any composition book and do the same thing. The difference is that there's the self-reflection embedded into it every 7 days, and allows you to really train your mind to think that it's okay to be you on page. And it's okay to start in a simple mindset instead of complicating it. Well, there's a blank page. Where do I go from here? What do I do? Maybe I'll look for writing prompts. You don't need any type of prompts to write. You don't need anything. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know who was raised in elementary school doing journals, but I remember, and I still have my elementary school journals. And the only time the teachers ever, when I was young, put up writing prompts was if we couldn't think. They didn't know what else to do, so they gave us guided writing prompts. But if you have stuff on your mind, you don't need any prompt. You don't need any blocking, writer's block. If you have writer's block, then say it. I have writer's block today. I ain't going to write. I'm going to sleep today. I'm too tired. You can evaluate just that alone. And simply put, it's just meant to open your eyes and in a simple way to your life and change your life by seeing, oh, wow, today I was tired. What happened the day before? Oh, wow, I was really stressed out. I didn't feel like writing. I wasn't grateful. Honestly, if I had a gratitude journal, sometimes there are days, I'll be honest, I'm not grateful. But yet on those journal pages of a gratitude journal, I don't have any place to write it. So how am I supposed to express myself? It's hard when you have to say, I'm grateful, and then you force it out of you. And it's great for cognitive development, but inside I'm saying, I wasn't heard. So in a simple way, changing your life and opening that door, building that door and opening it means that you do it in a simple way. It's supposed to be a simple new year to change. And there's too much complex things getting in the way. So that's why I created it, to be a simple way to view that change, to actually see something more clearly, but simplified.
So you are saying, Kanani, that once we accept our limits, the simple next organic step is to go beyond, and you have to learn the rules of the game of you. Yes. Because you know your old self, which you don't like, and you want to change, because you can't expect better or different results unless you change your, what you are doing and it's not working. So when you look at your old self, you realize that the game you're playing as your old self had the wrong rules or somebody else's rules. So now you are inventing your own rules. And the chances are that you'll play a better game of life simply because the new you created the rules. And no one can be blamed. So from now on, you cannot say if somebody else is the government's fault or my parents' fault or society's fault or whatever it is that you are blaming right now. So once you come out of that blame game, there is no one to blame but yourself for whatever is happening, and you have to take responsibility for who you are, being very simply very honest with yourself and going beyond your limits, because you put those limits for yourself. It's nobody else. So the same way you put those limits in place, you can remove them and go beyond.
Yes.
I found um, the way you create the sequences of this journey, because it is a journey, a
Yes.
self-discovery journey. I found it amazing, and I think you should perhaps share with our listeners where they could find this self creation book and how they can best use it.
Well, you can find it on my website, kananihaiola.com. If you look it up on Amazon, it's already up on Amazon. You can look it up, the title, The Simple New Year Journal, or you can type in 28 Reflections, and it'll be right there to purchase. Now, of course, if you buy it from me, you can get a discount. But in starting and preparing for this journey of 28 days, just setting yourself up in your mind, and even before getting it, I didn't put it in ebook style because I felt that journals, even with online journals, there's something different about actually having it on paper and writing it, because your mind is flowing when your pencil is flowing. And so in the journaling process, your process of actually sharing more, there's a lot more likelihood of you being who you really are with a pen and paper, as opposed to typing and then trying to make edits and feeling like you have to be perfect on a computer, or on or being able to print it out and thinking, oh, I gotta now print out an ebook with pages, So setting up your mindset before you get the book, while it's being shipped to you, start practicing just sitting down to write. Being that I'm an elementary school teacher, I am actually teaching currently for the next 5 months at the only lighthouse school in Hawaii. And the Lighthouse School implements the Leader in Me program provided by Franklin Covey, based on the 8 habits of Stephen Covey. And in our school system, at this particular school, we build leadership traits. And one of the things that I'm training these students on is the journaling process, and having them sit down to write anything that's on their mind, because whatever is on their mind is what's coming out in behaviors and anything else in the classroom. So preparing your mind to just sit down and write whatever is on your mind for 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day, spend some time with yourself. It's not very much, and it's just with paper and pencil. And then when you get your journal, then you'll be able to browse through and actually look through the pages, get to know the journey that you're going to take. And actually, at the end of the book, you'll find the lessons learned. And I didn't do too much as opposed to other journals that you could purchase at this type of price. I didn't put all these guided prompts. I made a lot of blank canvas space. And in the beginning of the journal, I actually write about my belief about the journaling process, that it should be a blank canvas in which you can write and get to know what you're writing. So throughout the process, you'll find that there's a lot of white space for you to create the way that you want to, both lined paper and blank paper. And then towards the back, there's lessons learned and actionable steps. So it allows you to think in the light of, well, I'm going through this journey, now what? There's a place for you to start writing what steps you're going to take. And this is the beginning step to goal achievement, is actually after confronting yourself, now what? Now that you know about yourself, so what? What does that have to do with your goal achievement process? There's a spot for you to actually write your actionable steps that you're going to take, that you can implement into any other goal that you want to take it into. So with that, yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this. It's amazing. It's a good journey, and I've been taking the journey myself with my own book. So definitely, I am leading by example.
Kanani, do you happen to have the book at hand?
No, I don't. It was shipped, and it takes a while because it came out at the beginning of December. It took about 10 days for the processing to occur, and it's only January 16th, and it's currently on the way. So I actually utilize my own pen and paper to write on, which I love. And I still look back at my drafts I have on the computer, and it guides me through my own self-reflection. So I'm actually using my own pen and paper, my own advice. That's exactly what I'm doing. Waiting for my books to come in.
I wanted to ask if you have, by any chance, access to your book, so you can read us half page or your
I
favorite
do.
paragraph. Yes, please.
Yes. The beginning of the book, and actually I can show you right here. It's actually on my computer. Right here. And I know it's not going to show very well, so I'm just going to read it.
Yes, please.
So it says, one paragraph says, if you are serious about change, a written journal to help you reflect on yourself is required. Never trust your memory to figure out your progress for changing. Write what your mind is thinking as you think it. Although there is technology, there is something special about reading your own handwriting. Your handwriting, grammar, and spelling is a part of you. It is you. It is you speaking. Handwritten journals capture this without the needed fonts and edits. A journal should always be visible for you so you can remember that you have a place to be yourself. Journals should be a blank canvas for a person to create their memories and feelings based on their needs. It should be simple.
So beautiful, Kanani. As beautiful as you are, your writing voice is the deepest reflection of who you are, and you are doing a divine job to seduce us into becoming more, into discovering who we are and why we are on this planet, on this beautiful planet. And I know each day, we've been talking about this before, each day is a blank canvas, and each one of us is an artist, and you choose the color. There is nobody to tell you what colors to choose, and you choose the message. So there is nothing in between your life purpose in yourself, and self-sabotaging techniques have to be dismantled. And I know this is exactly what this book does. And you created your life. Your life is a masterpiece now. You are a very successful young woman, a beautiful mother of two beautiful children. You live in paradise in Hawaii. And before we say thank you and how grateful we are for listening to your writing voice, I'm going to end our episode today. Even I wish we had more time, by listening to your singing voice. From myself and Kanani is goodbye till next time. And do you have something, a last thought to share, Kanani?
In Hawaii, we say mahalo nui loa for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kanani.